The future leaders have to not only tell people what to do, but they have to sell. They have to involve the people and in the creating the future, create the vision. So the sales process, it's not about selling and pushing as we imagine that often, but it's very much in bringing people on board and involving them in the creation. And it is Wioletta, your business doctor for the exponential age. Today is day 3 of the rebirth of the saleswomen and men for people who are already achieved something and their dreams and they're now feeling stuck in the space they are. You will learn today why the typical and normal sales courses and programs don't really work, what is the much faster and easier way to do it, and as well you will know all the patterns of the identity transformation, and from the non-salesperson to effortlessly selling and talking about what you have and enjoying that process. And this is for people who achieve things, but when it comes into the sales and talking about it, they feel like, and they stop. They already work on this stuff, but then when it comes into sharing, asking, and receiving, they are getting a little bit stuck. And yes, it's also about money, but it's also about everything else which require the future leaders. So if you are also in the leadership space, you also should stay. Why is that? Because the future leaders have to not only tell people what to do, but they have to sell. They have to involve the people in creating their next version of themselves, or they have to involve them in the creating the future, create the vision. So the sales process, it's not about selling and pushing as we imagine that often, but it's very much in bringing people on board and involving them in the creation. So here in the next 66 days, we're going to be reframing the sales process. Today I'm gonna tell you, and also it will be like a very, I think, fun and engaging way of transforming, but also getting results. I'm doing this every day here live because I also want to take part myself and create a community of people who wants to learn naturally, to share what they already have, to share what they've created, to share naturally, and who wants to also reframe their own beliefs about the sales processes, about salespeople, and want to understand what is the root of why you cannot sell, or why it's so troubling for you, or why you were selling so far, but now you're stuck in the certain level of a sales. And it's also for people who are even in the jobs. I don't want to make a fearful here and talk about this, but you know, I talk at least to so many people, and quite frequently of people who lost their jobs because there is the restructurization, because of the AI, because of all the changes. And those people are very smart. They're educated, that's smart, and they're losing their jobs. So actually going through the transformation when you become a natural seller. The fastest, the easiest, and the best way to transform is the identity-based transformation. And I have done that many times on different topics, and now it's time to tackle a topic of the sales. So let me know if you what level you are stuck, what are your biggest challenges in the sales processes, and it's selling yourself as well. And when I say selling yourself, it's selling yourself to your bosses, to the clients, selling your ideas, asking for things, and also receiving, because many people have a really problem with receiving. And you may ask, but somewhere inside you say, but actually don't bother, I'm fine, you don't need to do it. And people actually can feel it and see it and can experience your sales energy and your sales attitude. So I'm going to show you what is the difference between the identity change and why the sales courses, or why any courses, they don't work for you. So basically, here in the middle, you have your identity, okay? That's your identity. That's the space of the who you are. That's the space of all your beliefs, all your ideas. This is like the behaviors you repeated, the subconscious, and so on. Here is the process. Here is the process, and then you have an outcome, okay? And now it's a very crucial point that I really want you to stay and feel it, like with your all mind and body. So the identity, so who you are, it's 95% of your decision-making processes, of your actions, of everything what you do, meaning the outcome. And why is this? I want to share this one with you as well, so you understand the origin. So first, your identity is created by your beliefs, okay? Your beliefs create the next level, which is your thoughts. And your thoughts create the next level, which is your emotions. And your emotions create next level, which is your reality, okay? And now you stay with me. We have a little bit of sun, that's good. Now I have a thing in my face, that's also good. So think about it. Your beliefs were you acquire when you were about before 7, and then you just reinforce it. It was conditioned to you. Whatever you believed about you, about the world, about the sales, it has been built up on it. So all the beliefs were creating thoughts, and thoughts create emotions. So now I want you to think about it. I don't like salespeople. They are pushy. Or I don't like rich people. They are bad people. Whatever they are. What kind of emotions it creates, and what kinds of behaviors, outcome, and reality it creates. So when I say, oh, I don't like salespeople, they are bad people, they are pushy people, they're manipulative people, I don't want to be this person. So my subconscious mind, the 95%, will do everything to literally avoid the sales, me doing the sales. Because if I'm doing the sales and I believe it's bad, I'm going to be bad. And my subconscious mind will do everything not to be a bad. So we'll literally avoid all the possible. I will go into the research, into different of activities just to not ask. And there is more of the beliefs. It's not only one. You may have a belief, I'm not good enough. You may have imposter syndrome, and we talked about it yesterday as well. So there is a lot of different beliefs, but we will be focusing, and in the program, we're gonna discover, you're gonna see those beliefs. You will face them and you will like say, hey, that's interesting. That's a very magical experience. So stay with me. So why the most of the courses and programs and things, they don't work for you? Very simple, because most of them address this part, the process. So do you want to learn how to sell? Follow. So you go for another new technique, new tool, and new strategy how to sell. Okay? So this is the how. 5 steps how to sell, da-da-di-da-da. Then you have another part which is focusing on the outcome. So learn or do 5,000 or 10,000 a month sell. So this is a target. And it could be in dollars, whatever, francs, euros. It could be also when you put this in the identity words, if you say also as a, this is, you want to lose some weight, you know, I'm doing another challenge in the morning. If you want to use some weight, then of course, most people will focus on the process, the dieting, exercising, doing. You learn 5 exercises that will change your life. And then you fall on it and you go and you another 5 and another 10 and another dieting and another coach and another program, and it doesn't work. And then you go on the target, lose 5 kilos in 5 days or whatever is that. Everything great, you learn it. The problem is that all of this, those 2 parts, the big cycles when everyone else is focusing, it's your 5%. It's a 5%, guys. literally 5% of whatever is responsible for. So you put, and I want you to really remember that number, because this number is a magical. Hello, Chris. Hello, so cool to see you here. I want you to really think about this number. It's a very magical number because we put 95% of an effort, conscious effort. So strategies, planning, courses, learnings, all of this stuff on 5%. So all this, my pens are not working. All this is a 5%. All this is literally 5%. Your identity, the cycle should look completely different, but that's what it creates. Your identity is 95%, but you focus on changing a 5%. So basically, you put so much time, effort, and energy on changing the 5% that it really doesn't matter anyway. So this is why it feels always like fighting uphill. You're taking another course, you're taking another program, you feel for a minute like you know everything, you start doing it, and that's where your identity, the 95%, kicks in and takes over. How does that feel for you? Send some beautiful likes and hearts if you feel any like an aha moment and enlightening, because honestly, this saves you years of the pain and years of the fighting and learning and studying and not doing it. This frustration of, I know, but I'm not doing it. I know, but why I cannot just make a call? And most of the people will be teaching you, just make, why no viewers? Thank you so much. Share this. I'm doing this is my third day and I'm just starting. So with the people like you and the comments like you and shares, guys, these videos will get really traction. And I'm doing this here live and for free for the next 66 days. This is like a gold. You can also join a community, smaller community, when we will have a course for the VIP, and you can join for the price. But here I'm doing this for free, guys. You can just share this and join, and yes, thank you so much for sharing the live, Katak. Beautiful, thank you so much. You're gonna get so much gold out of this that is just like mind-blowing. So really, I appreciate all your likes, all your shares, all your hearts, and here over. So let me repeat that, because this is a gold. Like, it's the gold which actually Katak said it deserves millions of viewers. So yes, it does. But again, we are going, if I will put here 5 ways of making $1 million in 5 days, you will be like, hey, let's join. Maybe I should change my hook. But I really want to attract the right people as well into this. The people which are tired of repeating the same mistakes, repeating the same worries, repeating the same patterns. And by the way, I don't have many followers because I'm starting my journey also on the TikTok. So honestly, share it, invite people, come and join. This is my new experience as well with the TikTok. Thank you so much for following and being here, guys. I really appreciate it. As a new creator, you are one of the first ones, because I have been maybe 3 weeks present or something like that, or maybe 4, not so long. Anyway, I'm very new into this, so you have a chance to be. Yes, you are the 120 follower, exactly. Isn't that cool? Yeah, it's fantastic. Super, thank you so much. So basically, let me repeat. You focus most of the time and most of the programs, even of coaching, even on the, my background is in the psychology, neuroscience, business innovation, business transformation. And I spent years on bringing ideas into life, and years watching people failing at bringing those ideas to life. And then I was like, how we can make that faster, easier, smoother. And I started to play with my different methods. And I'm sharing here with you quite a lot of it. So one of the core elements is why people cannot bring their ideas into life. It's exactly this. You build your ideas from the identity different, then you're gonna execute them. Then you're gonna sell them. And all the programs, all the trainings are going into your conscious mind, which is only literally 5%. 5%, guys. If you know, this is 5%. All the hacks, all the tips, all the tricks, all the training programs, coaching and everything, it's going into your conscious mind. And you make your decisions based on the subconscious mind, on your emotions, on the feelings, on your beliefs. So why are you not making a sales? Frankly honest, because your beliefs about the salespeople, sales processes are not where the natural salesperson is doing. So maybe you force yourself to sell something. And I'm not talking only about selling products or services. I'm talking about selling yourself into the company, into the next jobs, into your followers, into anything, you know, selling yourself, selling your products. It's not only the conscious strategies which we put so much effort on. And the next 66 days, so make sure you stay here, you join and you're around. Oh my goodness, we have like 766 likes. Wow, thank you so much, everyone. And I know, Nekatak, you participated in that, and Chris and a few other people. But it's a really important message because it's landing for you in the right place, in the right moment. And when it lands, it already creates a new neuropath, meaning you have like a little seeds. You know, when the gardener comes into the field, he puts a lot of seeds. And he doesn't always go and like dig up the seeds and check, is it growing? Is it growing? You know, he just let it grow and trust that the sun and the water will make that job. So I also want you to come into this program. I'm still wondering about the time, so I'm trying different times. Come into this program as this, you know, with the open arms and open hands of let it land. I'm here to receive. I'm here to really kind of let the seeds to go there and see what is possible and see where all this grows, what seeds will create a beautiful plants and beautiful outcomes for you. So this is how I want you to go. And it's also I talked about it yesterday. It's also about your open beginner's mindset. When you already experience and you have an expert role, it's very hard because you already know. And here we want you to go more into the space of discovery. Oh my goodness, we crossed 1,000 likes. Wow. Thank you so much. With my 120 followers, I'm really appreciating and it's very, very cool. So what I want you to, I'm going to give you really cool stuff, and I may ask Chris or somebody here to type it, that because even if you type it, this will land into your brain and you can type it. All of you who are watching here, you have an access to the typing. I want you to type and let me show that you receive it. So I want you to start to first with your identity declaration, okay? So we going here in the next 66 days, we attacking this identity level. And we're going to be building little by little by little for the 66 days. When like all my clients are saying that, because I have done this on different topics, that by the end there was like, I knew it's gonna happen. I knew it, I'm gonna get the job. I knew it, I'm gonna make this money. I knew it. So with the time, you become such an identity that you don't have to reinforce anymore anything. And also, I want you to think about it. You may not get yet what I mean, but does vegan person really struggle with being a vegan? No, they just vegan and they just who they are, and they don't go around and don't think like, oh, it's so hard to be a vegan. It's so hard to go to the shops for the vegans. They just a vegan. And everything else, all the outcome, if they are vegan, then they get the processes going into the shops and buying the vegan stuff. And then the outcome is they just eating. They don't have to think about it. They just, this is who they are. And this is really, really cool. I want you to let it land. to receive, and to feel it. And it's the same. I'm doing the same experiment. If you want, you can join in the morning. I'm doing it on the identity shift regarding the weight. Because again, when you want to lose the weight, you're thinking about starting with the outcome, 5 kilos to lose, or the process of going to lose, but you don't think, what is the identity that is already lost the weight? Okay, so the identity is showing up doing sport without the excuses, is running, marathoner doesn't think about running. He is just running. He put his shoes and goes and runs. And that's what it's all about, this identity shift. You send me message and I'm gonna send you a link for a community when you will have access to all the days and all, what we will be doing? We will be actually doing a sales as well. So you're gonna create the pitches, you're gonna have products and sell and so on. If you want to spend more time with me, you can literally DM me. The program and the price is crazy. It's 555 euros. It's super duper, like I never done anything like this for this price, but I really want to create this community of the natural salespeople. So you can join that group we have on our platform. We will have a different challenges, and we'll be doing it. You will have also calls with me. So it's kind of like VIP treatment, but you don't have to. You can still hear and you can enjoy the space here. But if you want direct access, a little bit of commitment, a little bit of tribe and community, then definitely the effects are just amazing. Yes. What if someone wants to achieve something but cannot conceptualize in their mind? That's a very good question, and we will probably do more on that in our private group, because here is more like, the steps you can do it, but you already know what you don't like, okay? So you know what you don't want, so you create the anti-vision you already have in your head, I'm sure, because we all have it. We exactly know what we don't want, but we struggle with what we want. So you create that anti-vision and then you go into what you want. So I'm helping people to do it on the group course. You can ask any questions. We will have time together and we will have also chat. And so I'm already giving you stuff. You can use it and you can try to create what you don't want and what you want. The community is it's alive. I use it on the Mighty Network. So basically we create this day by day a micro experiential learning. So you come and you do in your own time and space. I create about 5 minutes videos when you literally rewire your brain and your activities for a different outcomes, basically, okay? And you will be surprised that those seeds will open up doors for you. And you will see that every seed will grow within the time. So let it land, let it seed, let it grow in its own time. Don't ask like, how, what, da, 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 da. You can ask the questions, but it's always about actually receiving an answer rather than kind of fighting for your own limitations. This is also, I really want you to feel that when you fight for your own limitations, because you fight from your identity space, and it's not wrong. I want you to understand something about having the identity is not wrong. It's just making your life easier so you can do things without effort. The identity transformation is like effortless doing what you want doing it. Like you want to have an identity of millionaire, you want to have an identity of entrepreneur, you want to have an identity of CEO. It's the same process. It's when you locked the certain beliefs, remember, the beliefs create your thoughts. Your thoughts create emotions, and your reality is the outcome. This is the quantum physics. This is the law of manifestation. This is like everything what you wonder, how on earth I'm going to manifest my future? Ta-da! That's the formula, but it's not only formula. We will be riding every single day on that wave. So make sure you join, you follow, you are around, you stick around, so you don't miss on any, on any lives and any presentations, because they're really powerful. That's beautiful that you already ask questions. So the first step of manifestation, of the sales process, of bringing your ideas into life, of the innovation, it's ask. Ask, ask, ask. And then the universe does magic. Then you receive the ideas. Then whatever comes. And then you receive. And the problem sometimes is that in your identity, you may ask, oh, I want to be a millionaire, or I want to be the CEO of a company, or I want to, make 1,000 or 100 per month. You ask that. That's your target. So you ask. You even may do a few questions and you ask a few people, but after you give up, after you don't say like, oh, no, I cannot do it anymore. It doesn't work. Or your identity comes and says like, oh, it's fine. I'm just asking. You don't need to give it to me. You don't own the receiving, and you don't. And there is a blockage, which is also clearly the wall of not allowing to receive. And I know something about it. As a independent woman, doesn't need anything. I can do everything myself, and it's very hard to receive. So you may ask, you may even make an offer, but then you say like, quickly stumble on it, you walk away and you say, hey, it doesn't matter, it's not important. Or you ask for a salary increase, or you ask for a new job. And they say, it's fine, it's fine. And honestly, guys, we are living in the world where people are losing their jobs really, really like crazy. Okay, everything is changing and changing super fast. So I want you to also think like, how do you sell yourself? How do you promote yourself? How do you talk about yourself? How do you own the value you really are? Because I'm gonna ask you to do this, and you can type those sentences. By typing them, you're already really making a strong seeds and roots in or like let it drop, and then we water them and they start to grow. So instead of saying, I want to learn how to sell, I want you to write it now in the comments. I am someone who helps people solve expensive problems. Write it down. I'm not kidding. Like, do it. Write it down with your pen. Write it down here in the comments. I am someone who helps to solve expensive problems. Think about it. How expensive is not to sell? How expensive is to stay in the job that doesn't pay you want? How expensive is to sell? How expensive is to not bring your ideas to life, which could make you famous and rich? Okay? I'm someone who helps people solve expensive problems. Those are really expensive problems, guys. Like, thank you so much for participating and writing. And you put it over the wall. Like, literally use the sticker notes and use everywhere and write it down. Your new identity is you are someone who helps to solve expensive problems. An expensive problem, it is, being stuck in a place you don't want. Expensive problem is, and then you will find who you are as a person, what are your skills, and what kind of problems you can help people. But those are expensive problems. Why is that? There is a story about the guy who comes and, he has a nail and a hammer. And he comes and he put the nail and the hammer and, it takes him 5 minutes. And then he charged certain amount of money. And the guy's like, yeah, but it took you only 5 minutes. Why are you charging me this money? And the guy says like, hey, it took me 25 years to know where to hammer that nail. So that's another story. You probably heard it, is old one, but it never gets old. It never gets old, and it's very powerful and very important to really know and feel your value. Because it's not about you not selling your time, you solving expensive problems that you got an expertise to solve that. And people will pay for solving the problems. People will pay for the great experiences. we call also expensive problems are, I don't know where to go on holidays. Like that's also a luxury problem. Like my biggest problem is where to go on holiday. You solve that kind of a problem. Okay? So that's the one reframe. The second reframe, get ready, we have another reframe. For example, I need to hit my revenue target. I want to make 10,000 a month. And that's your target, okay? But what is the identity would tell you is, I'm trusted advisor and people naturally buy from me. And I want you to write that. I'm trusted advisor and people naturally buy from me. Or people trust me and naturally buy from me. Whatever the natural sentence, speak your language, you know, and whatever you feel. So type it again and write it down. People trust me and naturally buy from me. I'm a trustful advisor, I'm trustful expert, I'm trustful, expert is also a good word, whatever feels good for you. And I have one more for you, okay? And then one more for you is, I should make more calls, or I should make more effort, or I should push harder. And then the reframe is, I'm someone who opens conversation that change lives. I'm someone who changes people's life. I'm someone who solves easily problems. I'm someone who solve problems naturally and being paid well for that. Huh? You can choose your version. You can choose what works for you. Just type it something, you know. I naturally solve people problems and I'm being very well paid for it. You think that you're writing something, but you're literally rewriting your brain. You cannot learn something before you unlearn. How your brain is constructed and how every piece of creation is being born, it's like that. You literally have to rewire your brain. You cannot simply just change things. The brain works like that, and the learning process going into from the frontal cortex, from the short-term memory into the long-term memory and into the behavior and an identity through the repetition. It's like building the motorway after motorway after motorway. And this is the most powerful and amazing thing. And it's very simple. It's just a repetition of the same pathways, neural pathways. So that's why I ask you to write those 3 sentences and stick it around your desk. And each time you think about making an offer or calling somebody, or read it all 3, okay? You solving expensive problems for people. You are naturally opening a conversation and changing people's lives. Voila. And people trust you and you will be being very well paid. This is the natural way, okay? And then the pattern number 2 is the pattern when we talk about some subconscious problem, and the subconscious mind always will override your conscious mind, meaning subconscious mind who you are as an identity, and will always override the conscious thinking. So, you know, you go to bed and thinking, tomorrow I'm going to make 5 calls and I will sell for 5,000, whatever the number is. And then tomorrow you wake up and you build another strategy and you research your purpose. And that's what is the 95%, okay? And also, when you go into the training, a sales calls or any other training, you may play very well. This is a pitfall that nobody talks about it, and I want you to hear it. You may play very well the sales games, okay? You may very well sell the product and sell this, and you may be a master of the sales strategies, okay? You read all the books, you're a master of it. But then the time comes and you're about to pick the phone or go live or talk about it, and you freeze. Because you're doing that from that identity space, not from the conscious training that you learned 5 minutes ago. And this is very surface and very easy. And you know, there is the whole industry built on that. And now it's a time for a business doctor to heal the illnesses and to open up for a much easier, simpler way of transforming. Anyway, 80% of transformation phase, and this is why you have the reasons. Okay, so we're talking here about cognitive reframing. We're talking about somatic feelings, where it feels that, what are the conscious beliefs, and so on. And you will learn more about them. Okay, now we have a next pattern, and that's a pattern number 3. And it also comes from a story that you build around the identity, okay? And so if you think about it, there is the narrative behind the story. So, you know, I was born in country, Poland. My father was an alcoholic, and I had a very tough beginning of my life. That's my story. That's a narrative that, you know, I also have a story about the sales that I could not, when I was 13, I started to work very early. And I remember my first job was the sales job. So I had a bag, 2 bags of like carrying with me all around. And I had to knock to the door and sell whatever I had in those bags. And I was not really happy about it. I didn't feel aligned. I was like, the elderly people were there, and I felt like I have to sell them something like brushes and unnecessary things, really. So I didn't feel very aligned. So I was going there for 3 days. I spent a lot of money on food and travel, and I didn't sell anything, okay? Zero sales. After a while, my travel budget finished, and I still was with 0. So I quit the job because I couldn't survive it anymore. So that's my story about the sales. And I can turn this into the story. Oh, I'm not good at sales. I cannot sell things. I didn't sell anything, you know? And that's the story. That's the narrative I am talking about, the sales, that I'm kind of chewing on my own story and limitations. So basically, the identity shift and the transformation also tackle that. Tackle the fact of who you are as a person. What is your story? So now, instead of this story, we can tell and rewrite this story. And that's your another point to do. You can write it now if you want. If you want to take the most out of this program, you can write it right now, the new narrative, new story. And for example, my new story and narrative is that I made, as the student, I don't remember the number, but I made enough money to buy myself my own computer, which in that time, when I was a student in communist country, it was super duper expensive. So I made enough money to buy the computer. I build up my six-figure I built my six-figure a career in the Swiss bank as the head of innovation. That's also like I sold first things to myself. I sold my knowledge, my expertise to my hiring managers. And something which you also have to be aware of when you look for a job. You are in the sales job. You are the salesperson. There is a client waiting for you on the other side, okay? And they vice versa, they also your client. So when you go into the job, you have to feel like, hey, you know, I'm kind of also looking for my next clients, and I'm presenting myself, and I'm selling my skills, myself, and my opportunities, okay? So you can create the hero journey for yourself. You can create the next space and next level for yourself. And then you create the next different story. So what story you want to tell about yourself? And this is very, very important for you to write the new story of who you are as a person. Talk to your future self, because this is a pattern number 4. And the pattern when we talk about the future self, the future you, there is a research that your current identity, so your identity from today and the identity from the future, more you are connected into these identities, so more you are closer into those identities. So it's you today and your future self. And this line is stronger and you feel it emotionally more, you're going to have a much faster, much stronger success. Because your connection to your future self is direct. You have the visualizations to do that. We will do all that. You have the subconscious conversations. You know, I also do the rapid transformation therapies when we talk with the subconscious minds and finding the roots of the beliefs. So you also have all those kind of stories and identities, but also you can implement that into your future self, into the future version of you. So the connection between you and who you want to be and this timeline is not the real reality timeline. It's just everything which is like resistance into achieving that. That's your blockage. It's not the time really. And we're doing this in 66 days because this is how much time it takes to embed new habits, new behaviors, and new ideas that they become more of the automatic. So we will go through also the different kind of testing and tools, and we will be like really working and training and visualizing. We will be rehearsing, and I will give you so much of the tools and techniques, but they will be very short and very smooth. So you will be able to choose which one you want and which one works for you, which one feels best as well. More you do that, it more become natural. Okay, so the next 66 days will be super fun. And also the identity of, solving people problems. Instead of selling them, you really also part of like being the doctor, like the business doctor or the doctor. You don't go to the doctor and tell him, he is selling you a medicine. He is selling you the prescription. No, he doesn't sell you anything. He just tells you what is the problem, how to solve the problem, and you decide if you want to go to the pharmacy and buy it. So it's more than the sales, is the diagnosis. And the people already will, it's only involving, like by the end of the day, what you sell, you cannot sell anything to anybody which they not sold already to themselves. And this is another very big thing. Like, I'm not gonna talk about the objections and all these things, because this is like fighting the wars of people who are not yet sold to themselves, the next version of themselves. And this is why it's so hard. You're not focusing on fighting objection. You fighting, or not fighting, you showing the different perspective, different lives without a problem to people. You see, there's such a little thing and a huge difference in the way how you approach that. Like, fight the objections. When somebody tells you something, you bang them with something. I'm like, no, you don't do that. That's not my way of learning, teaching, and sharing with you all the knowledge. Thank you so much for being here, for all your likes and beautiful comments. Yes, it is the process. It's actually the neuroscience and the natural way. It is a neuroscience, neuroplasticity, plus also the human-centric design. So basically, we design the experiences, so not only your brain rewire, but you cannot escape it. So you cannot escape it, and it feels very natural to human. It's very intuitive, Yes, this is gold. Yeah, thank you. Yes, it is. I know I'm sharing gold with you here. So please share it. Please, invite people, friends, families, and let's spread this gold around, because it's very powerful, and you will see it yourself. You will see how magically this converts and how magically it works really subconsciously for you. Okay, so basically there is a few things as well which I talked to you. Selling is not convincing, it's not pushing. Everything which you think it is, it comes from your beliefs, not what it is, okay? And of course, there are people who do that, but if you bother by that and if you trigger by that, then check your limiting beliefs on the process. Because if somebody is pushing and selling, you say like, yeah, I'm not interested, end of story. You're not gonna go on and somebody's pushing. When you go into the shop, and you're looking for a new car, and then a car man comes and tell you the description of the car, and you feel like, you are pushing, you imposing me this on me. It's like, he explained you stuff. You walk into the shop in the first place. Just don't forget that, okay? And this is so funny when you start to really think like that and feel like that. You're just sharing what you're doing, what is good. You're sharing also what is your diagnosis, what is your perspective on that. The best salespeople are those which they build the trust, and those, it doesn't matter if you extrovert or introvert. This is really not important. This is another belief that we think it solves or blocks us or grows us. And up to you, whatever you believe is right or wrong, whatever you believe is true. And that's only true for you. There is no any other truth. So we will be working towards the transformation of the identity around the neuroplasticity and around neuroscience, but there is a very important element that we probably never heard about. It's using human-centric innovation designs that I use for all the products, services, and processes that feels very intuitive and very natural for human beings. So you don't have to push yourself harder. You just have to show up and just be there, and slowly the things will start to move for yourself. If you want to have a community in the tribe, then let me know. When you are with people who are like-minded, and I give you an idea. So I give you the picture of it. So I'm standing in the bathroom with my daughter, and we are talking, and then she started to brush her teeth, and automatically I take the toothbrush and I'm brushing my own teeth. And then I realized, like, why I'm brushing her teeth? Like, I didn't have my breakfast yet. She had the early school, so she was going early to school and she already done it. So how often do you catch yourself on doing the things because somebody else doing them, not because you meant to do them? So this is the power of a tribe. This is the power of community. This is also the power of a human brain mirroring the behavior. You know, this is also the power of becoming like the 5 people. Surrounding yourself with the 5 people you really want to become like. So yes, this is our neurons are very much all working around mirroring the behaviors, modeling the behaviors. So make sure you really surround yourself with the people who inspire you, who talk about the things you want to talk, your dreams, rather than what you don't want. Because whatever you become like that, and you become that person. So this is why it's so important. Let me summarize what are the main differences and pitfalls of the traditional sales trainings and identity-based transformation. A typical training targets the outcomes, targets the conscious, it targets the writing the scripts, going on the phone and repeating the scripts. While your body is saying, this is not how I want to do it, this is not how it doesn't feel right, you hate doing cold phones, you don't like that, it's like feels completely wrong and not aligned with your identity, who you are. So what we're doing here in identity transformation, we rewire the identity. So basically, you will be feeling just like talking to a friend and sharing your next idea without attachment to the outcome and the sales. That feels great. The traditional sales techniques, our tools and programs and everything, it's focused on typical strategies and tools, but ignores the roots, ignores the beliefs, ignores why it's not happening, even if you know why you should be doing. Like, you can ask AI what to do, isn't it? Like, you don't need a 5 hours course. You can ask what to do, you will know what to do, and you can do it, but you're not doing it. So that's what we address. Also, works only with the mind. And here we work with the body. Also, yes, you will feel the emotions, you will feel the beliefs, and you will work with the rewiring and checking where is that. It always, everyone tells you, learn another technique, learn another sales tools, another this. And it goes always into you need to know more, but actually, the need to know more won't change the identity. You will know more, but the identity inside will be the same because it doesn't treat the right thing. And that's what is the simple things, the self-sabotage. The self-sabotage, guys, the internal critique, the thoughts, the beliefs, the thoughts, the emotions that creates your reality. And you want to change reality, but you're focusing 95% of your attention and work towards the 5% that matters. And also, we never address the stories that you tell yourself, that sales is bad, the sales is... And you know, I read a lot of books on the sales and did a lot of trainings. And honestly, there is the art of persuading and influencing and all of that. That's always it's this kind of an imposing on somebody something. And this is why it feels so bad, because you were born to sell, you were born to smile, you were born to bring your ideas into life. And when it feels like you have to impose, it feels wrong, because this is not who you are naturally. So we want to go and tap into that natural way of, I have such a great idea and I want to share with the entire world, because these are so cool ideas. And if there's anybody who is interested in, we will hear you speaking. So we're tapping into this. Okay, we will talk about beliefs, and we will be shaping and changing, and we'll have also measurement of how much we make, whatever you have. You don't have necessarily maybe a product or service, but this will be the most funny thing, that you will be literally coming back with the things, how to make money, how to bring the ideas, and how to turn them into the offers and job offers, into the salary, into the money, into the products and services, because we want to make it more natural and easy. The true abundance is and lies in your vortex, in your ability to turn ideas into experiences, into money, into profit for a planet, for people, for yourself, because, and in a fun way, because this is what the life is about. So thank you so much for all the beautiful likes and showing up here. You know, I'm doing this identity. It's not the first time, but on this one, it's a very particularly creative, and it's also with the real results that you can achieve quite easily. And if you want to have access to the previous days, then of course you can contact me and I will give you the link. You can join and you can sign. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm wishing you a beautiful day. And tomorrow we will look closer into what beliefs are blocking you, and we start to rewire them again. But remember, you have 3 sentences, put them everywhere to start with, and let them sink, let them work through. Your subconscious mind is always looking, even if your eyes don't. So if you put them all around, they will land and they will help you to get better. Ciao.